All right, today we're diving into something huge, a project called Wilder World. And their goal? It's nothing short of building a completely photorealistic, super immersive, and player-owned metaverse, basically from scratch. So you gotta ask, what does it actually take to build a whole new dimension of reality? Well, let's get into it. In that vision, it's really at the heart of everything they're doing. This quote right here, it's not just some slick marketing tagline. Nope, this is their fundamental ambition. They want to totally blur the lines between our physical and digital lives, and they're using the absolute latest in gaming, AI, and crypto to do it. So, how do you even start to build a new dimension of reality? Well, their whole plan kind of rests on these three massive pillars. First, you need the quality and just the pure fun of a top-tier AAA game. Then, you need a real, fully working economy. And maybe most important of all, you need that key ingredient, decentralized player-owned stuff. So right off the bat, you need to understand that Wild World is being built to be way more than just another game. Yeah, it's a jaw-dropping open world built in Unreal Engine 5, but it's also a DAO, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And what that really means is that the players, you, get a direct say in how the whole thing is run. And every single key asset, we're talking cars, land, you name it, is an NFT, which gives you real, provable ownership. The endgame here, it's to create this self-sustaining virtual nation, what they're calling a network state. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. We've talked about the huge vision. Now let's go to the place where it all actually starts. A city called Wyoming. This is the very first city in Wilder World, and it's this massive futuristic metropolis that's basically going to be the main hub for everyone. And listen, when I say this place is sprawling, I am not kidding. Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about here, Wyoming has over 500 kilometers of drivable roads. And that's just at ground level. Yeah, this is no small game map. This is a city that's literally built for massive scale exploration. So you might be wondering, how on earth do you build a city this massive without needing, 1,000 artists working for a decade? Well, what the team did was pretty clever. They started with real-world data from Miami's OpenStreetMap, and then they used procedural generation to build this incredible, futuristic, nature-infused version right on top of it. And that whole process, it's absolutely key to getting both that realistic feel and that incredible scale. And make no mistake, this isn't just some random mess of buildings. What you're looking at here is the actual, detailed urban plan for the island, which is just one of Wyoming's regions. You can see how they've planned out these really distinct districts, like the industrial heart in District 0 or the kind of rebellious entertainment hub they call Little Meow. Each one has its own specific mix of residential, commercial, and industrial plots. I mean, they're planning it just like a real city. Okay, so a massive city is cool and all, but what do you actually get to do in it, right? And that's where we get to the core gameplay pillars, the four main ways players can really get involved in this world. So you've got these four main activities: racing, combat, exploration, and mining. And the cool part is, they're all designed to be deeply connected. What you do in one area is going to directly affect the others and the entire world's economy. Now, the racing, this isn't just some simple arcade minigame. No way. The team actually brought in legendary developers from top-tier racing sims, think games like Assetto Corsa, just to make sure the physics feel completely authentic. And the combat, it's just as deep. It's set up like an extraction shooter, where you're not just fighting AI enemies, you're also up against other players, all trying to find and get away with valuable resources. But hey, what if you're more of a builder than a battler? Well, you can explore the city to find quests, or you can get into mining. And mining is, well, it's pretty much the foundation of the entire economy. Players literally pull raw resources from their land, and those resources are what's needed to build everything else in the world, from a new car to a whole building. And that right there leads us to what might be the most important part of this whole project, the player-owned economy. This is the system that connects every single thing you do to real, actual value. Right at the center of it all is the WWild token. It really has three main jobs. First is the currency you use for all in-game transactions. Second, you need it to mint new resources. And third, by staking it, which is kind of like locking it up, you get voting power in the Wilder World DAO. Basically, it's the lifeblood of the entire ecosystem. So here's how that lifeblood actually flows. It's a supply chain that is 100% driven by the players. A player mines some raw ore, then they refine it into usable materials like metal plates. Then they use those materials and some blueprints to build a finished item, like a new car part. And finally, they can sell that finished NFT on the open marketplace. It's a whole cycle. And just for the sake of transparency, here's a look at how the project's wild tokens are split up. You can see they're distributing tokens between the team, project reserves, and community growth. The whole structure is really designed to get everyone's incentives pointing in the same direction, towards that long-term goal of building a sustainable virtual world. All right, so a vision this massive, obviously it takes time to build. Let's pull back out for a second and look at the real progress they've made and the serious tech that's making all of this even possible. This timeline gives you a pretty good idea of their journey so far. I mean, they went from just sharing early devlogs in 2023 to having a playable racing alpha out by the end of that same year. Then, in 2024, boom, they lock in huge partnerships with NVIDIA and Polygon and even get listed on the Epic Games Store. And the next big milestone? That's going to be super early access, which is planned for early 2025. So what's powering all this? Well, it's a proprietary tech stack they built themselves. You've got Simulation OS, which is the big engine that runs the world itself, everything from the economy to the physics to the AI. And then, layered on top of that, you have Zero, which is the social OS, and that handles everything about you, the player, your identity, your wallet, how you talk to and trade with other people. All of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? With this huge ambition to become a network state, complete with a real economy and citizen governance, is Wilder World actually building the future of digital society? Or is it just the most advanced, immersive, and economically complex evolution of gaming we've ever seen? The answer is probably a little bit of both, and honestly, that's what makes this whole thing so compelling to watch.